Hey guys, welcome back to the workbench. So in the last video I showed the locomotives that I was doing, and I wanted to separate those out in another video so I didn't end up having to spend all the time trying to go over the locomotives in relatively good detail and then try to rush into freight cars and rush through these. So I decided it'd be a little simpler to just split them two apart. That way I could kind of cover both subjects in detail. So I got the locomotives out of the way, and we'll go ahead and look at some rail cars now. If you guys recall, in the last video I showed some Fbox box cars I was working on, and I finally got these completed now. I've been working on these for a couple weeks now, and both of these have different levels of weathering and then of course the graffiti. So you can see on this one here, the 50-53-31, I did some custom painted graffiti, all kinds of gang scribble, some graffiti that got sprayed off at the top. You'll see that a lot of times. A lot of this painted graffiti on the side will get blasted off, but you'll still have the stuff on the bottom, relatively newer stuff. So just light weathering jobs on these, and then the real attention was just spent in doing the graffiti. So I thought this was kind of cool here, so I went ahead and copied this off of photos, as you can see, and then I put the safety striping, the safety tape over it, just like the real prototype. This one has a relatively rusty roof, so I really went in detail with this to do the corrosion on the top, which looks really cool. You guys can see that. That's done with the acrylics and the oils. Everything else is just standard acrylic chalk weathering work. The ends are pretty simple too, just the basic kick-up effects on those. I'll show you guys those in a sec. This side here is probably my favorite on the 50-53-31 here, though. You can see the nice graffiti and the light weathering. All looks very nice. You got the safety striping put over it, as you can see. Really nice little effect. So that's the first Fbox car. The second one here is 50-53-06, and again the custom painted graffiti, safety striping, light weathering, the whole 9 yards there on this guy. But I showed these on Facebook quite a while ago. If you guys are on Facebook and you're on the custom trains groups, I posted pictures of these, so you guys might have seen these ahead of time, but if not, here they are in video form, so you guys can check these out. I think they came out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with them. This side here is a little simpler. It's just more over gang scribble. And some of these are like this. You'll have the heavier tags, and then sometimes you'll get the lighter tags like these on these. So it's a nice little variation, I guess. But both the ends, I tried to put the detail into the kick-up on the ends of these. You can see this one's more over cleaner lines. This one has the actual spray, or the splatter on the ends. I think that looks pretty cool. But those are the two Fbox cars I did recently. I'm pretty happy with those. Like I said, some nice modern, kind of gritty, ghetto box cars, I like to call them. Kind of represent those typically, covered in graffiti, but still lightly weathered. So I'm pretty happy with those, like I said. Some more cars I've been working on. I've been trying to acquire some of the more modern cars that have been coming out from these companies. So not only did I get some of these newer scale trains crude oil cars, but I also picked up these sexy little, or relatively big, rather, TLX cars from BLMA. I apologize, the light is not too good here, but I'll try to show these as best I can. Basically with these, light weathering jobs on all of them. Really the majority of the weathering is on the underbody. The car sides themselves are relatively clean, just darken the ribs. Did some streaking of the load spillage on this side, and then the graffiti and the safety striping on this side. On the top here, I did the grain spill, or the flour spill at the top of the hatch. You can see it's built up, and it's just starting to just streak down the sides like that. So I think that looks really cool. But that's the first side of this one, and then on the other side it's pretty much the same. I tried to do some scratches on this side too. You can see from something impacting the side there and scraping down the side of the car, but it looks pretty cool. But that's the TLX 56148, and this is the car I featured in my most recent how-to weathering video. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. I showed you guys how to actually weather one of these. It's a nice representation of a modern, relatively clean car, but still taking the time to put the detail work into the weathering on a relatively simple car like this. But I'm pretty happy with it, pretty happy how it came out. So that's the first one. The second one is the 56181, and it's pretty much weathered the same. There's some graffiti work on this side as well. And this is on both sides, again, like I said. You guys can see that. But like I said, they're both weathered, relatively modern, clean cars, and they're good to go, ready to get put into service, hauling flour. I really like these cars. I really think the level of detail is just tremendous on these, and it's very unfortunate BLMA got put into a company like Atlas, who has been kind of notorious for putting out boring freight cars lately. It's definitely disappointing. However, I will still keep buying these whenever I can find them. I need to find some more TLX cars. I want to get some CEFX cars and, of course, some ConAgra cars, because those are the ones I see generally around here in Ohio, so I want to stock up on those. But those are the two BLMA covered hoppers I've gotten. Like I said, I'm very happy with those. I think they're very nice cars, and they look very nice. Going into some center flows, I recently picked up a whole bunch of center flows from a friend of mine who was getting out of the hobby. He let me pick through his collection of covered hoppers. I ended up getting a few. The first one I want to show here is the Exo MX car that I did recently, and I'm very happy with this one. And this one is 720-208, and I put the primer patches for the safety stripes on this. You guys can see it has the double set of safety stripes. The old ones are the darker on the bottom sill here. The new ones are the ones with the primer patches behind them. And you can see all the nice rust halo effects I did with oil paints applied with a cosmetic sponge. A neat little effect that I wanted to try out, and I'm very happy with it. Everything else, standard weathering on the wheels, the underbody. I upgraded these to the metal wheels and the KD couplers. Some of them already had the metal wheels and KD couplers when I got them. Others I had to upgrade, which I used the Intermountain metal wheels and KD couplers to do so. But the first side here came out really, really nice. The roof walks and all that's nicely weathered on this car. The ends, of course, hit up nicely. And then here's this side. On this side I tried to do a little bit of graffiti work. And you can see it's a little bit more heavier streaking effects on this side. But it looks pretty cool. Nice modern car. Neat little variation of center flows, or another neat variation of these kind of cars to put into my fleet. And you'll see a lot like these. I have the halo effect, so I really wanted to try to do a car with these. And I'm doing some more currently, kind of trying to perfect this method that I'll show a little later. But this is the first one of that batch that I've been doing. So that's the Exo MX car. I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. The second one I've done, I went into some more detail with. This is a relatively cleaner car with some patchwork done to the side. It's a re-stencil car for GGHX. Got the rust streaking coming down from the platforms on the panel lines, and then the supports for the roof walk, all the rust streaks. A little bit of graffiti, safety striping added. The patching is done with an airbrush. Just masked the sides off and painted that on there. Looks pretty good. Pretty convincing. This one in particular is kind of cool because it has the double shelf couplers. So I went ahead and added those. Those are KD couplers. Look pretty cool. But that's the first side of this one. And then on this side, pretty much the same. Bit of graffiti work. This one also has the replacement, or the custom paint work done to the bay areas on the caps there as well. Looks pretty good. Nice weathering on the trucks, of course. But lots of nice little bits of work done to this car so far. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a nice modern representation of a GGHX center flow. Another road that's pretty common around here in Ohio. Pretty happy with these though. Looks pretty nice. But those are the two center flows. Like I said, I got a whole bunch more of those I'm going to show later on in another video. Some of them are relatively clean, some of them are kind of dirty, and you guys will see them later. Matter of fact, this is another one I'm working on right now. This is a UTCX car I'm working on. I won't get into too much detail with it. This is a quick overview of it so far. I've been working on the weathering it all day. But you guys will be seeing this one in the next video as well. Also, moving on, these are really popular right now, the Scale Trains tank cars that recently came out, the 31K crude oil cars. And I've recently picked some of these up from a hobby shop in Michigan. And just nice light weathering jobs on these, put the safety striping on them. But I really, really like these cars. They look very nice. They're very nicely detailed. And they have the operating bearing caps just like the Genesis tank cars do, so I think that's a neat little touch. But didn't do too much of these, just faded them down just a little bit. And then my favorite part on these cars was the kick-up effects on the ends, on the end shields. You guys can see I did the spray and the splatter techniques on the ends there. That look really cool. Added the KD couplers to these as well. And again, not too crazy, just very light weathering jobs on these, all three of them. This is the DPRX car though. Go ahead and show this one first. Like I said, very happy with it. Looks really nice. And then these two here are TLX cars, the more common ones that I see around here. Kind of mixed into freights. or in units. The only difference here, though, I've actually painted the bearing cap, the bolts on the bearing caps, the silver, so they really kind of stand out now, as you can see. But again, these both have the nice bits of kick-up weathering on the underbodies, the truck weathering and all that, all the splatter effects. You can see it looks very nice. Added the safety stripe to them, faded both of these down pretty well. Again, I apologize for the lighting. It's not really doing these cars justice. There's too much shadow effects. So those are the Scale Trains cars. You guys can see those. They look pretty good. Not too much to say on them though. Just like I said, they're relatively light weathering jobs, but I gotta say these are very, very nice cars. And like I said, Scale Trains did an excellent job on these, as you guys know. Very nice cars. I'll get these 3 for now. I won't be buying any more just because I want to have these scattered about, but most of the time you see these in unit trains, so I only wanted to have just a few to kind of scatter about in a mixed freight or something like that. But again, very, very nice cars. Very glad I got some of these. This last car here that I'll show is one that I've been working on for a little while, and I'm very happy with it. This is a UTLX ammonia car, and with this one, this is a UTLX fader, as I like to call them. So I faded this one down with the airbrush, did some patchwork on it, added the custom graffiti, and then some updated stenciling and car data info. You got the vinyl stencil covers there, and then on the roof locks here you guys can see all the nice rust effects, pretty heavily streaked down the sides of this car. It's kind of hard to see them stand out on this bright white car, but you guys can still see kind of the rust effects done with the airbrush and by hand with a brush. All looks very good though, nicely rusted up. The trucks came out all nicely, as you can see. And then the ends, you got the kick up and all the standard work on the ends there, weathered up the couplers. And on this side, probably my favorite side here, you can see all the nice patchwork, all the graffiti work, everything else. It all looks very nice. It's another nice modern car put in my fleet. This is the only ammonia 33K car I have, though. Everything else I have are LPG cars, so this is a neat little variation. But again, you can see all those nice rust effects. So I gotta get out and get some photos of this one when I can. But this is another nice little variation of a car that I've done recently. And I was going to sell this one, but I like it enough that I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep it. Some more LPGs I got working up here are a GATX patch out car that I've worked on for quite some time. It's still kind of just in the works still here. But it's got all the upgraded stenciling and all that, and I'm just starting on the weathering. And then the one in the back here is going to be another TLX build with the custom roof walk added, the Plano roof walk. So this one's waiting to be stripped down and repainted, but the build itself is pretty much done. It's just waiting for a paint job. So that'll be another little project I'll show in the next video. Hopefully by the next video this will actually be done though, so you guys can keep an eye out for that one. I haven't decided what kind of a paint job it'll get though. It'll be either basic black or it'll be a custom paint job. I'm not sure yet, but those are 2 more LPGs I've been working on, so you guys can stay tuned and I'll hopefully have these done. But like I said, I have a bunch more of the center flows, of course, that I'll be working on, so you guys can stay tuned for those when they're done. I'll be showing those on Facebook, and of course be posting more videos here on YouTube. And of course I'll show you guys some more locomotives when I get them done. I think you guys will really like them though. I got a couple for myself, some HLCX units, and some of the CSX units that I'll be doing later, so you guys can keep an eye out for these. But this pretty much gets us up to date on the rolling stock so far that I've gotten done. And you guys can, like I said, let me know what you guys think of this so far. I'm really happy with what I got, like I said, and we'll be sure to keep you guys posted on what else I get. But for now, that's the rolling stock so far, guys. Hope you like the videos. I'll keep posting as I go here. But thanks for watching as always, and take care.